Next, we will set eyesight critical to the movements organizations. So the keys to successful system development, system analysis, and design. So we can see that when we find some system analysis, we call SF for short. That is the practice of understanding and specific details upon the information system through the complex. So we said the SA is equal to the watching. It means that we will set the SA is analysis. So we focus some software development part. So we will have SA's roles to thinking about watching. So about SA's role, we will say he always asks of watching. So when we said watching means the things where composes for what kinds of things. That means we always focus on the SA's special in the software development. The software development we always thinking is for the data model and the process model. So in the point of view, we always thinking for we think it what's a data model? What a data model means we have a conceptual analysis, and for the physical and logical design. So let's we go to the systems design. We call it SD for short. It means the process is to define and describe in detail how the complement of the information system should be physically implemented. That means when we thinking the SD is in some development environment, that means we always thinking our system will build it up what kinds of environment. This means we will design. The design means how to do it. Now, what means how to do it? Then we will describe for the details process. Yeah. So we always focus on database design or some framework design, and for some programming design, and the others related design. So when we focus on the design conceptual, that means we always thinking for the SD. The SD is based on the SA's conceptual. So when we announce this, then we go to design. So when we in the design, then we have some spec. The spec means we will have some requirement. The requirement transfer to some elements in law. So when we sign a contract, we will use the SD's spec. So based on the SA and SD, we will have this class of the picture. So the SA is analysis of our problem. The SD is we add some specs for our problem. So next we go to call as systems analysis. It means we some people call this systems architecture. It means we in the high levels top-down view to all the systems development. So system analysis is professional. It means they have a certificate. Yeah. So if you join some organizations or some companies, they will always ask you that, do you have any system analysis or system architecture certificate? This means you will use analysis and design technology to solve problems using information technology and development. This means the system analysis or the system architecture. This means they will have two critical certificates. One is focused on the information technology. The other is focused on how to manage the people. So, if we want to manage the information technology, we will have some technique of the system and analysis. If we want to manage the people's during the development, we want to have a project management technique. So, we have two skills in this class. One is called system analysis and design. The other is project management. So, the system analysis and design technique is for managing our information technology. The project management is focused on how to manage the people in the development organization. So we have two skills in this class. Next, based on the analysis and the designers, we can go to next step. We call the builder. The system builder, it means we will coding and we will manage our database. This use we can computers, software, programming that execute on the computing device to carry out a set of functions. This means we will separate our coding people to some group. Now, each group is to manage one modules or function. So it means we have a team. The team is focused on coding programming. So, based on this, we can collect all the people in the team. It's called it's a project. The project it means we will focus on the three targets. We means they have a short term period, and have some target object, So and some specific for our idea. So that means a project is present on the techniques that has a beginning and end that produce some depending on the result. So let's tell that used to the development of information system requires knowledge of systems analysis and systems design tools and techniques. Okay, that's all for this class. We will tell you about how to together with the technique to face our problem. So we always call it project. The project maybe becomes a portfolio or becomes a program. That means the project is small or larger. So for larger problems, we always call it that's a program. For the middle range size, we call it for a portfolio. For the small problem, we call it a project. So that means we always thinking about what's a project. So the project is a basic unit for ours considers to organize our people's to focus on the created some information system. So, first project we can separate for some item. This items means we have some task need to do. So we want to do some task. So we want to face we have some item. So the items means the smallest elements for our team. So for project we have some task. Task have some for items. That means we base on some phase. The phase means called the development cycle. So for the development cycle, we always call the system development lifetime cycle. For short, we call it SDLC. Yeah. That means when we do our problem, especially in the information system development, we always use some phase. From phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4. Usually we call phase 1 means for the system phase. The second phase, then we call it systems analysis. The third phase we call the system design. Then the fourth phase we call it systems build. So based on these, we mean what's the lifetime cycle? So we based on the definitions. The entire process consists of all the activities required to build, launch, and maintain an information system. This means for an information system born to die. So the lifetime cycle means from 0 to the other 0. So it means when we create a new system, to the system's finally die. So this we call a lifetime. So the lifetime means for originals to the ending. So based on this, we must call the SDLC, the lifetime cycles. We want to identify the following some tasks. Identify the problem or the need and attempted approve. Second, plan and monitor the project. This is the main thing. Third, discover and understand the details of the problems or needs. Fourth, design the systems components that solve the problem or satisfy the need. Fifth, build, test, and investigate the system components. Final, complete the system test and then development the total solution. Okay. So for the many items, we can think about each item that have a cycle time. The cycle time for the other items they have overlapping. So that means in this item to this item they have some chain of connection. So if this item cannot be finished, then they cannot go to the other step. So this we call the item, maybe we can change it to go to the step. Step 1, step 2, step 3. Yeah. So we can see for SDLCs, they have a series of molecules. This means the previous step, if not accomplishment, then we cannot go to the other step. So based on the ideas, we can say that we have the SDLC, then we can control our quantities of information systems development. So if we want to control the quantities, then we must base on the cycle time. So this is a big picture for we to thinking of these problems, how to go finish them. So, based on this, we can analyze some of the advantage or disadvantages for our SDLC. So we can think that if we have the SDLC, it's a cycle. Then we can control the quality. We can have a roadmap when we go to heavy equipment. So we can find many documents to record our details roadmap. So we have many information to take care of the development of information system. So that's the advantages of SDLC. But go to the other hand, then we can see that we must take care of each step. So we must spend much time, even more time. That is, it means we will spend much money. So this effort is too heavy. So the SDLC is very serious, but we can see that they must take care of so much money, so much effort, and so much time. And we must have so many people to get together to take a note or take a document. And the heavy document is difficult to maintain. So, everyone, go through this. We can think about it. Everything's not always have a nice view. If you open a nice view, then you will go to some better view. So we see a problem in a different slide. So if you have this idea, this means in the system analysis and the design, it must take care of the trade-off for the best side or the other nice side. So when we go to the software development, it's teamwork. The teamwork, it means information system development process. The process we based on the SDLC, that's we have a series to monitor. But we can see that for the development process, the actual approach used to the development of particular information system is called a methodology. What's the methodology? We means we have SDLC, the lifetime cycle. This means we follow a time pace. But when we create a problem, we not always follow time. We always follow some people kill this problem. Some problems will occur in the development of information system. So we have two main framework. One is called who cares the development of information system. The second is what's problem in the development of information system. So we have three iterations. One is means time pace. The other is called who. The other is called what. So we have three iterations. So the three iterations we call is the methodology. The famous methodology is based on the recommend FISA. We call a framework of information system architecture. This means we have a problem. We see a problem based on the three directions. One direction is called time-based direction. The other is called people direction. The other is called problem direction. So, based on the time-based directions, we have SDLCs. The other two, we have for the who care the development of information system. We care a lot of information system. Some we call owner. Owner is pay money to build an information system. Somebody call it the boss of the company. The other is user. Who is the user? User information system. User information system we can based on the inside the company or outside the company. Inside the company we can call it inside user. Outside the company we can call it the customer. So these two kinds of people will use the information system. So we always call them that's a user. So user is a composite of inside users and outside users. So based on this, we can see that we have a owner, we have a user, and based on the outside, we have system analysis, we have system designer, we have a system builder, and based on the project manager. So we can get this together. They always care our problem. So we call owner, user, analysis, designer, builder, and project manager. Maybe we can include some consultant. Yeah. So this also cares our problem to development of information system. So we have the second direction. Who cares this system? Who cares this problem? The other direction we call what. That means when we are thinking about development of information system, we always care what the system composes, what kinds of components. So based on the IBM's conceptual, they always tell us that if we want to develop an information system, then we must think in three main things. The first one is called we must care the data model. What's a data model? We can say we can see any data in this information system, include some information in your screen, in your device, include any document, maybe for your report, for your some thesis. So for these kinds of problems, it means we must take care of the data. So the data will in which kind of phase storage in our system. We always use some maybe called database system, or maybe we call some document system. So based on which kind of systems architecture you will use. So this kind we call data model. So if we face the data model in your database systems process, your teachers always say, we have 3 steps to consider our database system, or maybe for the data models created. The first one is conceptual. For the conceptual, we always think in some entity. The entity means the master file. So we will always care that in our system, we must care what kinds of master file. We call it entity. Based on the entities, we know that our database, we always use the relational database. Relation means each entity have some relation. That means we can discuss our entities in the conceptual phase. So we can think about for our entity, how to build their relation between or among the entities. So we know for each entity's relation, we always have 3 types. One is called one-to-one mapping. The other is called one-to-many mapping. The others, we call it many-to-many mapping. But we know if we use one-to-one or one-to-many mapping, then we have one to seeking the others. It means we have a place. The place can for we use the query technology. But we know that for the many-to-many mapping, we face the problem. Many cannot query many. So we have a problem. This is not a searching space. So if we want to seek in the searching space, we must transfer the many-to-many mapping become the one-to-one or the one-to-many structure. So this for our in the conceptual phase, we must think about it, how to build a relation. So we want to solve the many-to-many mapping. So we want to use some ideas to change many-to-many mapping becomes a one-to-one or one-to-many or some typing. So based on this, we can we build the relation between or amongst the entities. But now we have a second problem. The second problem means that how to realization our conceptual phase is readable. What do you mean readable? The readable means we can think it's have some logic. The logic means that we have a inference structure can test this phase is okay or not. How to test this? So we want to make our entities for the key, or we call it the primary key. For the primary key and add some attribute to this entity. That's we want to think for these created for our entity, it's reasonable or not. How to test? Then you can think in your database class. Then your teacher always told you, we have a normalized or normalities technique. So we can base on the normality or the normalized technique to test our conceptual phase is readable or not. So, go to this phase, we want to think in that. For our normality, we have 7 steps. For the first normality, the second normality, the third normality, Bruce Kohler normality, and the other, the 7th. So, based on this, your database teacher always told you, we always consider for the first, second, and the third normality. The reason why we only consider for the 3 normality, it's enough. The reason is our problem not too large. So we always thinking go to first, second, and the third normality. It's enough to solve. We will face some not reasonable problem. So that's enough. So we go to this step. We can separate our big table to some small table. That means we make some reasonable consideration. So when we go to this, then we can finish our second phase. It's called logical phase. So based on the logical phase, we can build each entity have some relation based on we assign some foreign key to the entities. So based on this, we can think. We go to this step. We have the master file and some induced. We call it a transition file. The transition file is formed based on some master file. So we finish our logical case. So we know our each entities in the second phase is reasonable. So go to this step. We can build our database or not. You can think it. We cannot do it. Why? Why we cannot do it? When we finish our second phase, we from the conceptual to the logical, then we cannot build our database. The reason why? I think somebody have some idea. That means we cannot say we will build a systems in which kind of database. Okay. So in the finals, we go to the physical phase. The physical phase means we must consider our system will build on which kinds of system, which kinds of database system. We must build. So in the physical design, we must care this. So we must say that we will use the MS SQL Server or the MySQL or the other database system. Then we can add our DDL or DFL's entries to the 3 phase. Then we must take care our each attribute in the elements, because we must create our item. So we must build our table schema. So we must translate our logical phase to the physical phase. So Based on this, we must add for our each items for their attribute. It means we must call the length, the type, any formula is non-empty, have a default, or any others is unique or not. So based on this, then we can build up our tables in our database system. So go to this, we finish the data model. So the data model means we have some data we use in our information system. Maybe it's in view, maybe it's in a report, maybe it's in some document. All these we call it data. The data must be stored in some database or some folder based on you use the database system or the document system. So when we finish our data model, then we can go to the second things we care in the development of information system. It's called a process model. Process model means that we must create some functions to fit some requirements from the customer, from the owner. So based on this, we must create some function. But which kind of function you need? How do you know? So we must think it that. In the process model, we also have 3 phases. The first phase means requirement analysis. We must think in some needs from the customer, from the owner. Then we have requirement, then we must go to how to transfer requirements become to the function for our system. So based on this, we must have some system analysis phase. So we must take care that which kinds of functional or the modular must be built in our system. It's a second phase. The final, when we finish this, our system analysis phase, then we go to the how to modularize. Because we know that if we create some function, the functions each one have a print function, but we must care. We need to build each functional in each module or not. Or maybe we can get together for a printer function. It's called document management function module. So if we want to use the printer document, then we go to this module. Because we not printer every day. So we don't need take this function in each module. So in the final, we will discuss it more. In the final phase, we must consider that the function must be in each module, or the function can be get together in one module. So this idea is being called we make the modularize. The modularize means we can use the system like we can use the car. This car to connection, they have this function. This car drop, then we don't use this function. This provide a more flexible design. So when we see this problem, we can think it based on the requirement analysis and the modularizer. We call this a 3-phase for our process model. So when we focus on our requirement phase, we must do the requirement analysis. The requirement analysis have 2 items. This means the first, we must get the data. What's the data? The data means in a company or an organization, they always use this kind of data to build their document, to build their report or the others. So, based on this, we have this kind of picture. So we must get the data together. Then we must transform the data to become to our function. So based on the tool, we have requirement analysis. So I find that we have already. So I think for this class we finish here. So everyone can go to the toilet and take a rest. UCD for short. It means we based on we collect our data. The data it means requirements from customers or the owner. So based on these requirements, we transfer that into function. The function is we will provide for the system. So we use the use case diagram, we call the UCD for sure, and based on this UCD, then we have some UCD the spec. Based on the spec, we can go to our next phase. So when we go to next phase, we join our point of view go to the system. Then we can see the system must have three components. The first component means we must have a right. This means authorized. Authorized means we must say that we have many kinds of right. This means we always have a different law. Different law use the system. They have a different point of view. They must have a different requirement. So, based on this, we must build some right for the different law. So we always use the law-based access control. We call the RBAC. For the RBAC, we always see used in the Windows system. So you always find Windows system build administrator role, or the we call the guest role, or some user role. So based on different role, they can pay the different right. So go to the system analysis phase. We must know that how many rights in our system. This is the first point. The second point, we must know how many folders or how many tables in our system. We must know this because the systems that get the data or write the data must be based on the folder or must be based on the table. So we must know how many table or how many folders will be used in our system. We know this part we have analysis in our data model. So in our data models conceptual phase, we have find how many folder or how many table will be used in our information system. So this way is finished. Next we must go to how many function will need use in our system. So how many functions we must base on our UCD diagram. So based on UCD diagram give us the functions we need in the system. Then we must build our functional view. But if we want to create our functional view, then we must need more logical. This means we must take care how to do this. So in this phase, we finishes what is. This means the system composes what kinds of function. But we don't know how to run it, how to execute it. So we must go to the final phase. The final phase means we call it modularized phase. If we go to modularized, we must be combine some function or separate some function to get together become a module. So we always based on our system analysis phase. The system analysis phase, they always use data flow diagram. We call it DFD for short. So usually we have some function, but the function must be combined or must be separate or must be singleton, isolated. So if we want to do this, we always base on two criteria. One is their inside connection or their outside connection. What's inside, what's outside? This is based on our module. If some function in the same module, their connection is very close, then we call the inside relation is very close. If one function is always connection to the other function, but the other function is not in the same module, then we call it outside relation. So you can think it. If you always connection to some outside function, the functions is not in the same module, then your system will be very busy. They always connection to outside. This means you will spend more and more time and more space. This means they will increase your time complexity and your space complexity. So it's not good. So based on this, when we modularize space, we must combine some inside connections very close component. So we get it together become a module. So we have a criteria for these two ideas. So if we want to get a module, we must think for the strong inside connection, but weaker outside connection. So if inside connection is very high, then we must get it together in the same module. If not, we want to separate the functional to the other module. So this is the main idea. So based on this, we can build our module. So when we finish the module, then we must tell the builder how to create function. This means we must tell the builder the logical how to do it. So if we want to say this, we must give a data dictionary. Based on the data dictionary, they will illustrate our table. They will illustrate our data flow. They will illustrate our modules and some details for the modular structure. So we always use some flow chart, or maybe we call a program flow chart. The program flow chart will tell us this functional how to do its work. So some people will say, I only use the program flow chart. No. You also can use structural language. Some people always use structural English. Or maybe some people face their complex system. They will use maybe the decision table or some decision trees to make complex decisions more clear. Because everybody can think about when you starting the programming language, when you design your programming language, you always use three kinds of decision logic. First is sequential. It means finish A, there is a go to B. Yeah. So we can have if A, then to B. But some case it's not so. For example, we have some selection. So maybe if yes, we go this way. If no, we go the other way. Or maybe it's more than two choices. Maybe case 1 go this way. Case 2 go this way. Case 3 go this way, the other. So like this, we call a select case. So based on select case, we can combine many if-then else statement. The final. Always you will use the loop. The loop is also a decision logic. For example, we want to do this work 10 times. Then you will for I to 1 from 1 to 10. This means we know how many times we need to do. But if you don't know what times you have to do, then you always will do by some do while or do until. So this means some problem is mean do by their condition. Based on the condition is true or not, we will do or not. So some decision is take the conditions in the first. So let us check the condition is true or not, then we'll do the following thing. But the others is not. It's do the first time, then it's check the condition. If the condition is true, then it's go the next. So we can see here for the loop, one is for we know how many times we to do. The other is we don't know how many times we to do, but we know what the condition true we will do. Yeah. But based on this, we can check the condition first, or we can do the first. So based on this, you can think about when you start in the programming language, then your teachers always told you have 3 decision logic. One is sequential, one is select case, one is loop. So based on the 3 decision logic, you can finish your decision logic. So how to do means based on the 3 decision logic together. Let's say you can finish all you face the problem. So In our data dictionary, we catch the data in our table, catch the data in our data flow, catch the data in our functional, in our module, and the final you will catch the data in our view, in our interface. So the interface models will be appear. So based on this, we must say that we create a system use what kind of language tool. Yeah. For example, we use the Microsoft Visual Studio's 2D10 or the others. So based on this, you must know the how to connection to our database, how to build our fragment, how to announce our library. So based on this, we finish our process model. Then we can go to our final model. It's called interface model. The interface models include our view. We see the screen. Or some document. We want to produce some report for the boss, for our manager. So, like these informations, we have to design our visualization. Then we can think these systems better. So it's based on the interface model. We call this people and machines interface, because we want to, based on this interface, to use the machine, use the system. But interface have a second route. It's called a program to program. For example, in our process models, the final step, we go to the modularized phase. The modularized phase, we separate our system into many kinds of modules. The module to module have some connection. The connection may be used for some function, or use some variable. The variable may be global variable. So, which kinds of connection you will use? You must say, this we call the program interface. So the program interface, you must tell, you use which kind of connection. So you have a master program. You have some sub-program, or called a subroutine. And you have some plug-in. So how to combine them together? This means it's a program interface. So if we want to say the model more clear, we must use some tool. We must use people. Hierarchy, input, process, output diagram. It means they combine the two tools. One is a hierarchy structure, which means it's a structural chart, or called a modularized structural chart. This is based on the process model, the final phase. The others is to the input, process, output, we call IPO for short. It's called IPO table. The IPO table will say which kind of data will input, which kind of data will output, and how to do your process. Your process means interface connection. The connection have two kinds of. One is called data, but the other is called signal. Yeah. So, in this big picture, we finish our. We clear the definition 3. The definition 3 means what? We care the problem, what kinds of stuff. So, original, we always care 3 model. Data model, process model, and the interface model. But not all. If you use some system, the system always will use in the internet. For example, you use MSN or Skype, like or some peer-to-peer tool. This kind you always use connection in the internet. Then you must care based on the data model, process model, interface model, and network model. If not so, if you want to create a system on some embedded system, maybe it's your smartphone, maybe it's your PDA, maybe it's your tablet PC. Everyone, then you must care of some embedded system. The embedded system means you must care data model, process model, interface model, network model, and hardware model, so and so on. Then we have a big picture. So based on the methodologies, we have three directions. One is SDLC, we call it typeface. The other is we call it who, which means people care this problem in space. The other space means what. What kind of problem we care in the development of information system. So the three care direction is organize our recommend features, information of a framework of information system architecture. This is code-based methodology. So in our class, we will introduce this kind of pictures for you. But you know that not always people use only the recommend framework. Some people will use the UPE. We call the unify the process. This is proposed by the IBM. Or some people use the streaming programming. We call the XP. The XP is proposed by the Microsoft. All the others, Scrum. Scrum means you always see the TV for some American football. The football is Scrum. So the Scrum is proposed by the Java. So we can see that beside the recommend visa framework, we always have a unified streaming Scrum and the others. So based on this, we can see the final statement. Most processes or methodologies now use Azure on the iterative development. This means now many kinds of methodology we can have two categories. One is called iterative. Iterative means it's a cycle. It's a cycle. The others is we call Azure. Azure means combines iterative and our sequential. You remember the waterfall. Waterfall. Combine the sequential and the iterative, we have a Spiro. Yeah. So Azure is always follow the Spiro's structure. So everybody, you must take care of the tools conceptual in your mind. So you have a big pictures for our class. So now we finish our English class. Okay. 可以了吗？好，我们说回中文吧。